But, I'll never be satisfied. So anyway. Let's get this party started. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Myasophia, and today I am doing a bookshelf tour. I'm going to organize my books, so we're in for some exciting things. I wanted to share with you all my bookshelf and these things that bring me a lot of joy. I'm going to start out with organizing my books. I need to put in the new books that I got and figure out everything because I have a new shelf, and you'll get to see that. All right, I am done with my bookshelves. I'm pretty happy with everything. I think there are still books that I would like to include in my collection, of course, and I might play around with the order at some point, but I thought I would take some time to give you a tour of my bookcases. They're looking beautiful. All right, so you might be wondering what my order of my collection is, and honestly, I feel like they're just kind of based roughly by genre, but mostly just how I like them to look, etc. I've decided that these bookshelves are just going to be mostly for fiction, while my other bookcase is going to be for nonfiction. So I don't know how long I'll stick to that. I definitely read a lot more fiction, and yeah, I'm super excited to tell you all about this collection. All right, starting at the top, we have our fantasy. Of course, as you can see, lots of Percy Jackson. I don't have the full collection, and I have two, you can see, of the Lightning Thief, so I need to figure out what I want to do with that. But those are some of my favorite books. And then we have a few more fantasy here. In the next shelf, we have more fantasy, The School of Good and Evil. Now, I haven't watched that TV series. Let me know in the comments below if you all have. I just feel like it might be a little too intense for me, so I haven't taken the time to try it out. But we also have The Keeper of Lost Cities up here. I don't have the full collection. I'm missing the newest one. That was one of my favorite series a long time ago, but I've moved on to better fantasy. And then as you can see, we have not a fantasy, but just a display book, One Drop, Shifting the Lens on Race, which is one of my favorite books, nonfiction books ever. So again, mostly fiction, but a few nonfiction of my favorite nonfiction. All right, here is my next shelf, and more fantasy, some of my favorites and ones I wanted to display with my little owls. Important notes here, The Dragon's Promise. I'm currently reading that. I've talked about it a lot on my channel. And then Amari and the Night Brothers. This was a book that I got in my book haul that I'll talk about more. So yeah. And then some of my favorites also is A Song Below Water, an amazing Black mermaid story. So definitely check that one out. Oh, and also Cemetery Boys. Really enjoy that book. All right, so then we have more fantasy. Some of the ones that I really want to point out, of course, are The Goose Girl. I think I may have mentioned that on my channel, but Shannon Hale is one of my favorite authors because of her writing. And I also love The Princess Academy, as you can see here. Really enjoy that book. I think I talked about it in my comfort reads because it's just a really cozy fantasy that I read probably early middle school and have always really enjoyed. Let's see. More Percy Jackson here. Loved. And I talked about this series. This is The Land of Alone that I have not reread in a long time, so do not remember it at all, but I'm hoping to get to it this year. Moving on, we have the next shelf, more fantasy, but moving into sci-fi as well. So we have some sci-fi here and a little bit of fantasy. Can't quite see it, but I only have The People of Sparks, the second book of The City of Ember, which I really enjoy. And let's see. Of course, we have our favorite, the Lunar Chronicles, Cinder, Scarlet Cress, and Winter. And then I also have some other sci-fi here. Moving on, we have a beautiful display of Cinder, the collector's edition for the anniversary of the book, and, you know, some other display stuff. My next shelf is the one with my doll display for the winter solstice. And if you want more of an in-depth look at this, let me know in the comments. I would love to do one if you all are interested. But let's talk about the most important here, and that is the books. So I have Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli here, and I have all of my Becky Albertalli books in the back. And as you all know, some of my favorites. Then I also have To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Definitely really enjoy this series and the movies as well. Maybe I'll talk about them more at a later video. I also have The Hate U Give. Moving on, one of my favorite shelves because it has the Pinderwicks. You all may be tired of me talking about these, but I really do love the Pinderwicks by Jean Birdsall, one of my favorite childhood books. So I have those. And then this section is like YA contemporary with a little bit of middle grade. And I didn't have as much space for some fantasy like the Mysterious Benedict Society, which I feel like is fantasy. Yeah. Anyway, so that's that shelf. The next shelf has another copy of Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli because it is absolutely beautiful, and I talked about it in my book haul, but I have also my favorite picture book, I Am Enough, and then a bunch of more middle grade contemporary things like the Vanderbeekers and let's see, the Willow Falls series I think I've talked about as well. 11 Birthdays, really enjoy that. So yeah, this is that shelf. Also, Same Sun Here, really good. My next shelf is more of a display, like stylized display, and with my favorite books ever, Instructions for Dancing by Nicole Yoon and Tokyo Ever After, which I've been talking about a lot. Those are some of my favorites. And then moving on to the next shelf, I have more of my more middle grade contemporary. And yeah, one that I do love is Piecing Me Together. I'll probably talk about that one at a later date. Moving from kind of middle grade contemporary, I have my historical fiction section. But first, I have my incomplete collection of the American Girl doll books. I would love to have all of them but I just really love owning books that I've already read, and like completing collections of books that I just really care for. And that's something that's really was how I was thinking about this organization, and something that I really want to think about more is like, what are the books that make me really, really happy? And are all of these books that? Don't know. Anyway, Countdown, beautiful yellow. So I love the yellow, and it's a very good audiobook. Here we have another shelf. This one's more of just like extra stuff, so not really organized, but we do have a fun mystery series, middle grade mystery series of The Name of This Book is Secret. I have two other nonfiction books here, and that is Big Friendship, How We Keep Each Other Close, and Radical Friendship. So all about friends here, some of my favorite nonfiction. Finally, we get into my wonderful collections. And here is my collection of Babysitter's Club. I would love to own all of the books and some poetry as well. Then moving on, we have my Nancy Drew collection, which I would love to have, even though I understand that the books are problematic and I probably don't plan on rereading a bunch of them. They're yellow, and I think it would be wonderful to have the whole collection. And you can see I also have a few on the side too. Well, that's it, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment down below what would be your dream bookshelf collection. I would love to hear from you, and let me know what other content you would like to see. So thanks for coming on the journey with me and looking at my collection. Definitely more to do with this, but yeah, so excited. In the meantime, keep resting, resisting, and finding joy. Goodbye for now.